After watching One Punch Man for 3 days straight without blinking, I've managed to go bald. But I also managed to find 21 secrets that almost nobody knows. Starting with the secret behind Saitama's name. Because did you know that the creator actually named Saitama after the Japanese province where he lives? Talk about putting something on the map, huh? Of course, tracing the backgrounds of Saitama's nicknames is far easier. Caped Baldy is a particular favorite among the fandom, a name given to him by the Hero Association. And One Punch Man, well, that one's self-explanatory. But that secret is nothing compared to the fact that Atomic Samurai was secretly a Nazi. You see, in the original webcomic, the handguard on Atomic Samurai's sword resembled a certain symbol. That's enough credits for our favorite Austrian painter for today. So when the mangaka One first drew the sword, he meant for it to be a manji, a Buddhist symbol that totally has no connection to Nazism. But the whole world misunderstood it, and it created a lot of controversy.
Embarrassing!
So the samurai sword was changed to one with an atomic symbol. I don't know. I kind of prefer the first sword. It really resonates with the real-life samurai that he was modeled after. You see, when Yusuke Murata was designing Atomic Samurai, he was inspired by the 1954 Akira Kurosawa film named Seven Samurai. So, he specifically modeled Atomic Samurai after the silent and highly skilled swordmaster Kyuzo. Damn, Murata didn't miss when it came to the hair. The only one who missed when it came to hair was Saitama himself, because he had quite the hair before he lost it all to getting strong. If you watch episode 3 carefully without blinking like I did, you'll notice that strands of his hair fall off after he starts training. This is where everything about his hair started going wrong. Safe to say, he was working out, but his hair was walking out, which just feels like someone I know. That's right, I'm talking about Saitama Sense. And if you want to become strong and get some waifus too, you should definitely subscribe right now. Anyways, I bet you didn't know about this next secret, because even though Saitama looks like a Make-A-Wish patient, it doesn't change the fact that he's responsible for creating the Hero Association. What? You didn't know? Ever heard of the butterfly effect? You see, in episode 1, Saitama fought a monster to rescue this boy that has milkers for a chin. Fast forward to episode 5, and we discover the Hero Association was founded when this rich man made a huge donation after a hero saved his grandson. I'm sure you see the obvious resemblance. If Saitama didn't save this boy, there wouldn't have been a Hero Association. The craziest part about all this is that Saitama wasn't even designed to look like a savior. When One Punch Man was still being published as a free webcomic, the artwork was hilarious. Just take a look at this. Well, did you know that the creator made Saitama this way for a reason? That's right. It's because he didn't want a badass-looking MC. He likes his MCs built different. And by different, I mean dumb. And dumb is not so bad because this is what gave Tatsumaki powers that are out of this world. You see, the only reason Tatsumaki was able to drop a meteor on Ancient King was because the animation team misunderstood what the creator intended. Tatsumaki was only supposed to drop a boulder onto Ancient King, which was supposed to trigger a flashback to another time when he'd been hit by a meteor. This just means Tatsumaki can't actually drop a meteor, because if she can actually do this, she might just be a worthy opponent for Garou. Speaking of Garou, I bet you didn't know, his name means Hungry Wolf. That makes a lot of sense if you consider the way he hunts down his enemies, and the way he disguised himself as a wolf in the fighting tournament. I guess Tatsumaki wouldn't stand a chance against Garou even if it were a full moon. That brings us to the next secret about Tatsumaki that will blow your mind. Because, did you know her ethnic background is French? Well, I'm not the one who said it. The creator said it during a stream where he talked about what ethnic backgrounds a few of his characters might have if they existed in the real world. A few of them were S-class heroes. He said that Tatsumaki would be French and Genos would be German. Maybe that's why he's such a multi-purpose man. You see, Genos doesn't only shoot lasers at bad guys. He'll also shoot you if you think of making his house dirty. Yep, that's how serious he takes housekeeping. In fact, he even has secret hands that have brooms, dusters, dish dryers, and potato peelers. He can also activate his built-in sleep mode. When he's tired, he just presses a button and goes into sleep mode. Kinda wish I had a button like that. Ugh. What I don't wish for is tears made of oil. Yep, if Genos were to cry, he would cry tears of oil. Maybe he cries oil because the idea for Saitama's super suit came from a kid's show. As it turns out, when the creator of OPM was working on what would become One Punch Man, he spent weeks thinking of a suit for his main character. Finally, he got inspiration from the popular Japanese kids show Anpan Man. Tell me you don't see the resemblance. The creator even went as far as taking the name. One Punch Man in Japanese is pronounced Wanpan Man, while the kids show is pronounced Anpan Man. If you thought that was crazy, wait until you hear about this next secret. When Saitama's not in this super suit, he's always wearing flip-flops. You may think this is just another funny secret about Saitama's choice in shoes. Well, it is. But it gets crazy when you know the true secret behind these flip-flops. See, Saitama wears flip-flops because he can just kick them off instantly if a fight were to break out. Say a monster like Gamburus comes out to play. Saitama would take off his flip-flops and engage immediately. You know, now that I think of it, the name Gamburus kinda sounds familiar. I got it! The name is very similar to that of the three-headed hellhound beast from Greek mythology named Cerberus. The name might also be a reference to the three-headed dragon in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! At least they didn't copy as badly as Marvel Comics did. You see, in 2016, Marvel took the risk of a lifetime by releasing a comic book that was about a Saitama-themed superhero, but with way lamer powers. Yeah, the fans of One Punch Man weren't having that, so they threw punches at Marvel until the comic was no more. Imagine Saitama, but with the ability to control animals. I literally can't imagine that. What I can imagine is Mob reading a OPM manga in episode 2 of Mob Psycho 100. Mob Psycho and One Punch Man are created by the same mangaka, so I'm not really surprised that Mob Psycho would make a reference to the popular series. I mean, it's so obvious that it's Saitama in the manga. Just take a look at his bald head. And that's not the only time these animes cross paths. They've happened to cross paths even when Saitama was still a child. If you read the extra manga chapter called 200 Yen, you can see baby Saitama wearing a t-shirt that says Mob Psycho 1 million. Listen, did you know that if Shogi was never invented, Drive Knight would be useless? Did you notice that Drive Knight's tactical transformation share a theme with Shogi, the Japanese game that's kinda like chess? That's right. All his tactical transformations are named after various shogi game pieces, including Flying Chariot, Bishop, Gold, Silver, and Knight. And just like a knight, Watchdog Man spent most of his time observing the city from his pedestal. You see, this act is very similar to that of the real-life Japanese Akita dog named Hachiko, who is a famous symbol of loyalty. Hachiko would meet his owner at the train station every day after work, and continued to do so for 10 years after his owner passed away. There's even a statue to commemorate Hachiko in Tokyo. But did you know that there's also a statue for Informed C-Class Rank 283 BoJack Horseman? As it turns out, that's not BoJack Horseman high on stimulants, that's Horsebone. He runs H-City alongside Mushroom. While the full extent of his abilities have not yet been revealed, it's known that he uses his hooves to fight enemies. Now, a secret I bet One Punch Man probably isn't too proud of is the fact that One Punch Man doesn't happen on the Earth we know. Because tell me why, the Earth here has only one continent and 4 moons. Instead of having 7 continents like us, the show's Earth has one big continent. And instead of having countries, that big piece of land is split into 26 cities. But even though this planet is pretty odd, it's nothing compared to Puri Puri Prisoner. Speaking of Puri Puri, did you know that Puri Puri Prisoner constantly skips out on prison labor? I mean, he's always kinda occupied by his hero duties, so it's unclear whether he has an arrangement with the prison that lets him off the hook, or if he constantly ignores his assignments. Dang, I wish Puri Puri was there when the pig monster at the end of season 1 was referencing Pixar's The Incredibles. The movie ended with a mole that announced himself as the terror of the underground attacks. Last but not least, did you know Saitama was broke? See, before Saitama became a pro hero, he didn't have a job, and because of that, he didn't have a lot of money to spare. He quit his job at a convenience store he used to work at and started surviving off of different part-time jobs. He used all of his savings just to survive, but even this wasn't enough. Saitama wasn't even buying groceries. He'd rather just survive off vegetables. And even these were given to him for free by grateful people he rescued from danger. Now I see why Saitama is addicted to clipping coupons. To end this video, I want to tell you a secret almost no one knows. You see, rumors go that if you don't like this video and subscribe to my channel, then you'll turn bald like Saitama himself. Oh, and by the way, if you thought these secrets were crazy, wait until you hear the 21 secrets about Nezuko that I expose in this video. See you there, my friend.